This young man was the most handsome celebrity in the village. No matter where he went, he was mobbed by the locals like a teen idol. Even the dungeon monsters were conquered by his beauty. Who would have thought that after unfortunately dying from a plague, Lewis would be resurrected as a skeleton? Even hideous creatures like goblins would spit when they saw him. In his past life, thanks to his massive fan base, he only needed to wave his hand and a few lackeys would jump out to handle things. But how the hell were they now? Chasing him like he was a dog thief? Truly, karma doesn't spare anyone. The more he thought about it, the more pissed he got. This guy decided to stop running and fight for real. What could these puny goblins possibly do? Bring it on. He could take them all. But life isn't like the movies. Very quickly, he was whacked with a club so hard it broke his face ID. In the end, the young man was ganged up on and swarmed by the goblins. Luckily, at that moment, a group of adventurers appeared in time and eliminated the goblins. Thinking Louis had been killed by the monsters, they even clasped their hands and prayed for his soul. They wished for his spirit to pass on peacefully, but just then, this guy, with his demonic skull and crossbones look, suddenly sat up and thanked them for saving him, scaring the living daylights out of the group. They scrambled and ran for their lives in 8 different directions. So, was that a big enough thank you? You think I actually wanted to thank you or something? Afterwards, Lewis followed his memory back to his home, but now it was nothing but a desolate pile of ruins. Fortunately, the house of his best friend Violet was still intact. Finding the door unlocked, Lewis slowly stepped inside. However, the interior was also a complete mess. It looked like it had been abandoned for a long time. Just as Lewis was wondering where Violet could have gone, a pair of glowing red eyes suddenly appeared behind him. Sensing the killing intent, he immediately dodged to the side. However, one of his arms was still hit by the girl's swinging knife. The girl, who was currently drunk, was none other than his best friend Violet. Lewis really wanted to explain, but she didn't give him a chance to open his mouth. As a result, the young man was beaten senseless by his best friend. With incredible speed, Violet appeared behind him, held a knife to his neck, and questioned the skeleton. "Who are you? Why do you speak as if you know me?" Only then did this guy finally have a chance to speak. He hurriedly explained that he was Lewis, her best friend. He just didn't know why he had turned into a skeleton after coming back to life. But Violet said nothing and slammed him onto the floor. Then she furiously pinned his head to the ground, her eyes radiating a terrifying killing intent. She wanted to punish the monster who dared to impersonate her best friend. "You dare impersonate him? I will grind you to dust!" Lewis was truly terrified and shouted in a panic, "Wait, Violet, it's me! It's really Louis!" However, the knife in her hand still plunged down coldly and decisively. It wasn't until Lewis mentioned the word flower that Violet's eyes changed slightly. The knife was now just millimeters from his head. He had successfully escaped death by a hair's breadth. He almost logged out for the second time. Violet recalled the happy times they shared. She always called Lewis Flower, and would even sometimes water him like one. So surreal. Back then, he had asked Violet, "Why do you always call me Flower?" Violet smiled and replied softly, "It's because you are as beautiful as a flower." So that was the special nickname she gave him. Hearing that, the young man was left speechless by his best friend. Who compares a man's beauty to a flower? It sounded so gay. Back in the present, a few drops of water suddenly fell on Lewis's head. Then the knife in Violet's hand also fell to the ground. Lewis looked up and asked, "Violet, what's wrong?" By now, her face was drenched in tears. Her voice choked with emotion as she asked him through her sobs, Is it really you, Lewis?" Tears streamed down her face endlessly, and then Violet suddenly collapsed onto his chest, whispering softly, "Lewis, I missed you so much." After they both calmed down, Violet slowly recounted that in the year he was gone, a lot had happened. Louis listened, a hint of sadness on his face. "So, I've been dead for a year." In the house, the two sat with their backs against each other. Lewis suddenly spoke up. "But hey, Violet, why are you talking like that?" Violet simply replied, "I still haven't gotten used to it." Lewis shed a silent tear. "She's been through so much." But then Violet revealed some shocking news. The demon tribe had appeared. Startled, Lewis quickly turned back to ask her, "What? Is that true?" Violet seemed to avoid his gaze as she replied, "Yes, the demons. A war has broken out because of them. Some kingdoms couldn't bring themselves to leave this place. This place, which holds so many memories with you. And then you appeared. That's why those goblins were so close to the village." The atmosphere between them fell silent for a moment. Then Lewis asked her in a worried voice, "Can I ever return to my old self?" Fortunately, Violet's answer did not disappoint him. Her eyes filled with confidence as she looked straight at him and said, "Don't worry, I know how to turn you back to your original form." Under the warm sunlight, the two stood on a cliff, gazing at the scenery. Lewis asked Violet, "I'll do whatever it takes to get my old body back. You could be in danger. Are you still sure you want to come with me?" Violet's hands tightened slightly, but she replied with determination, "It's my responsibility to water the flower." Hearing this, his eyes shone with confidence and immense resolve. "Good. Then let's go find my handsome face." Legend tells of a regeneration potion that can restore flesh and blood in an instant. Its ingredients include the antennae of a red spider, the tail of a green gecko, the blood of a blue deer, and the final ingredient, the water monster, Leviathan. Right now, Lewis was standing before the beast with a knife, taunting, "Come at me, you ugly fish!" Hearing this, the water monster was both furious and speechless. How could a tiny little skeleton dare to act so tough? Watching the skeleton man dance around like a lunatic, the water monster was too bored to even respond. "What's wrong with that madman? He looks like he could shatter at any moment." Seeing this, the old skeleton crowed even louder with an incredibly punchable look on his face. "What's wrong? You scared?" Being insulted by a creature it looked down on, the water monster was absolutely furious. It decided it had to punish this insolent skeleton. But it didn't realize it had fallen right into Lewis's trap. He just shouted, "Violet!" then quickly leaped out of the water monster's attack range. Receiving the signal, Violet was already waiting with two sharp daggers in her hands. She immediately jumped down from above, aiming for the water monster's head. Only then did it realize it had been tricked, but it was already too late. A scream echoed out as the water monster officially kicked the bucket. A moment later, the two were in the forest with the spoils they had collected. They decided to concoct a potion to turn Louis back into a human. Soon, the finished product was ready, a vial of red liquid. The potion of regeneration, a miraculous medicine. Heals all wounds with an angel's blessing. The two couldn't help but marvel. Does it only work in places like this? How romantic. That's right. They say it has to be done where cherry blossoms bloom. Well then, let's give it a try. Violet quickly stopped him. "Lewis, wait a second." Lewis was confused. "What are you doing, Violet?" She pulled out her dagger, made a cut on her own hand, and then explained, "Just in case the potion doesn't work, I'll try it on myself first to test its properties." After speaking, Violet slowly uncapped the vial and gradually poured the potion onto the wound on her hand. Then the ethereal image of a beautiful angel appeared in the air. The experiment was a success. The wound closed up instantly, as if it had never been bleeding. The potion's effects were even stronger than what Lewis had imagined. Next, Violet handed him the vial. "Now it's your turn to try." He held the vial in his hand, an indescribable feeling welling up inside him. He said to Violet, "Without you, I'd be nothing. Thank you, Violet." In Violet's eyes, at that moment, it seemed as if Lewis had returned to the form of the young man he once was, causing her to stare for a moment. Then he gently opened the vial's cap. He thought about everything he had been through since his revival, looked down on by goblins for his ugly appearance, mistaken for a monster by humans. But all of that was about to end. With that thought, he immediately crushed the vial, letting the liquid pour down over him. But the forest remained strangely silent. From the ground, there was only the sound of something decomposing. Lewis hadn't changed back. He was still just a skeleton. The only difference was that one of his arms seemed to have been corroded by the potion. What in the world just happened? His unwilling scream immediately echoed through the forest. Violet could only watch from a distance with sad eyes as he tormented himself. She rushed over to stop him. "Calm down, Lewis!" But he paid her no mind, cracks already forming all over his forehead. "Do I look calm to you? Why can't I go back to how I was? Do I have to live like this forever? Why can't I regenerate? Louis!" Louis roared in fury and despair. "What did I do wrong?" After venting his rage, he collapsed powerlessly to his knees. "Violet, I can't go back, can I?" "If that's the case, then there's no meaning in living." The light had completely vanished from his eyes. "Maybe I should just die." Violet hurriedly tried to console him. "Lewis, there has to be another way." But just then a tremor suddenly shook the ground. Sensing danger, Violet immediately told Lewis, "Run! Get as far away as you can!" Very quickly, a red creature appeared before the two of them. It had red hair, a single horn on its head, eyes as crimson as blood, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. This aura, it's unmistakable. "It's the Demon Lord." Violet said to Lewis, "I'll try to buy some time. You need to run now." But he completely ignored her warning, stubbornly walking forward. "A demon lord, huh? You must be pretty strong, right? In that case, I have a favor to ask of you." With a perfectly calm voice, he said, "Kill me." The demon lord's eyes were cold and filled with contempt. "You're already dead, and you're asking to die again? You are an interesting one." Her eyes saw right through Lewis. Not dead, yet not alive. A truly strange creature indeed. She licked her lips, her eyes as cold and emotionless as ice. "Fine. I will kill you as you wish." At this point, Lewis no longer cared about anything. He just stood still, accepting his fate. "That's right. Just like this. If I can't go back to how I was, then death is better." But at the crucial moment, Violet stepped forward to protect him. "Louis, I'm sorry." He only had time to utter, "What?" before she shoved him forcefully backward. Violet said gently, "Please live on, Lewis, and please don't forget that I always wanted to protect you." Immediately after, without a shred of hesitation, she drew her daggers and lunged at the demon lord. With incredible speed, she managed to wound her. Unfortunately, the demon lord's body possessed an overwhelmingly powerful regenerative ability. That last attack only created a small scratch on her body. The demon lord looked at the blood on her hand and couldn't help but fall into deep thought. She couldn't remember how long it had been since someone had made her bleed like this. Suddenly, she let out an incredibly excited laugh. "All right, then. I'll treat you with proper respect. Open Lucifer's demon eye." One of her eyes immediately turned black and white. Her opponent's speed suddenly became unnaturally fast, making Violet anxious. "So fast! I have to defend first." However, she was still struck across the chest by a swipe of the demon lord's claws. Even her dagger was sliced in two. "Lucifer's demon eye can see through anything. Your shields are useless." The two of them clashed again, exchanging blows. Surprisingly, when they broke apart, both were bleeding. The demon lord instinctively licked her lips, the corners of her mouth curling into a bewitching smile. Now this is interesting. That was definitely a surprise attack, and yet she didn't just dodge it. She even managed to counterattack, with just one eye. The demon lord made an offer. "I've taken a liking to you, human. Become my subordinate." "Why would a powerful human like you risk your life for an ordinary skeleton?" Violet retorted bluntly. "Because I promised I would water the flowers every day." "Right. How could a demon race that revels in slaughter like you possibly understand the pain of losing someone you love?" The demon lord flew into a rage. "You've made me remember something I tried to forget. Die!" Knowing she was no match for the demon lord, Violet accepted her fate, letting go of everything. But Lewis screamed, "No!" He quickly appeared, shielding her with his body. "Lewis, why did you come back?" "I don't know. I've got nothing left to lose." Meanwhile, the demon lord was suddenly blinded by a bright light. "What is this? That light is... Huh?" Then she exclaimed in surprise, "Why is Lucifer's demon eye showing me an image of a human? Could it be because you were worried about me? Don't you know that flowers will wilt if no one waters them?" At the demon lord's castle, an enraged shout echoed through the great hall. "Impossible! Absolutely impossible!" Inside the castle, a group of demons was arguing. "Peace with the demon race? This can't be happening!" "Calm down, four heavenly kings." A duck wearing a suit suddenly appeared. "What's all this ruckus about?" "Oh, Elder, it's true. As a demon, I truly cannot comprehend this. Why isn't the demon lord attacking the humans? We're watching everything through this crystal." "What seems to be the problem?" The elder explained helplessly. "That is the problem. The demon lord's heart has been stolen by a human." "How can a demon be with a human?" The elder gestured to the walls. "Just look around you. Everything here is related to that fellow named Louis. Did he use some kind of magic on her?" "You fool, it's not magic. Back in my homeland, they have a word for what the demon lord is doing, stanning, right now." The demon lord looked exactly like a crazy fan obsessed with her idol. "Oh, Louis, I miss you so much." 10 demon lords have existed over the past several hundred years. Among them, the one called the strongest of all generations is the Black Dragon, Afrost. It was whispered among the demon lords that as long as the Black Dragon, Afrost, existed, humanity's extinction was merely a matter of time. But at this very moment, the Black Dragon was clinging to Louis, a mess of tears and snot. "I wanted to see you so much." Meanwhile, the young man was completely baffled. "Where am I? Who is this person?" After a while, the Black Dragon understood everything. Wiping away her tears, she said emotionally, "So that's what you've been through. You must have suffered so much. Somehow, I've become completely useless in front of this stranger." and in the form of a skeleton, which isn't cool in the slightest. "You're trying to find your body, right?" the black dragon declared cheerfully. "Don't worry. I'll come with you and help you get your original form back." Violet quickly warned Lewis, "Don't you dare trust her. She's a demon lord!" But he held up a hand to stop her. "Hold on." He asked the black dragon, "Did you say you would come with me to find my original form?" The black dragon's voice suddenly turned surprisingly serious. "Lewis, the human world is filled with thousands of lurking dangers." Then she looked straight at Violet. "She alone can't protect you." Hearing that, Violet shouted in anger, "What was that?" Violet immediately raised her hand and declared, "I am the protector of—" "Lewis! He gave his life to protect me!" Even he had to nod after hearing that. The black dragon gritted her teeth in a rage, veins bulging on her forehead. "What complete nonsense! Then why did you just stand by and let him die like that?" Faced with that question, Violet stammered, at a loss for words. "About that," the black dragon turned to Lewis and said, "I know it's very difficult for you to trust me, so how about we do this?" The black dragon's cheeks suddenly turned red, her expression shy and bashful. "Please sign a contract and become my master." Lewis was completely bewildered. A contract? Master? Meanwhile, Violet's face turned black with rage, but she couldn't say a thing. Beneath the clear blue sky, a few gentle, cool breezes blew past. A little rabbit was hopping merrily with a carrot in its mouth when a sudden explosion appeared, blowing away both the rabbit and the carrot. It's true what they say, when giants fight, the little guys always get caught in the crossfire. The black dragon was overjoyed. "The contract is complete. Lord Lewis, I will strive to help you with all my might." All the while, Violet stood behind them, trembling with rage at the dragon. "Lewis, I forgot to ask your name." "I am the Black Dragon, Afro's Lord Louis." "The Black Dragon? I've already forgotten." "Let's change your name to make it easier to say, okay?" "Change my name?" He stroked his chin, thinking. "You're from the demon race, but you're a kind black dragon who's helping me. So let's just call you Good Dragon, okay?" Hearing the earth-shattering name he gave her, Good Dragon was at a loss for words. "Good Dragon? Dragon is the common name of my clan, passed down from generation to generation." Her face darkened. "How can a demon possibly be good? How can a demon's name be Good Dragon?" But she accepted the new name very quickly. "It does sound kind of cute. This girl is hopelessly boy-crazy. She couldn't help but jump up and down." "Of course, Lord Lewis is the most perceptive." He put his hands on his hips with a smug look. "Oh, I wouldn't go that far." Violet watched the two of them, one setting up the joke and the other delivering the punchline, not knowing what to say at all. On the barren desert, under the scorching heat, Lewis's group of three trudged on, slowly and wearily. Violet pointed ahead, telling them, "Lewis, just a little further. We're almost at the village." "I'm so hot I could die." Although, to be fair, Lewis was already dead. He still felt like he was burning up. "Lewis, are you okay?" "Can't you see? Of course I'm not okay." But Violet wasn't asking about him. I mean her. The demon race kills humans for fun. Who knows what kind of scheme she's plotting? "I'm really worried about you, Lewis, traveling with a demon." But he quickly flicked her on the forehead. "Violet, you listen to me carefully. All I need is to get my face back. I don't care if it's a human or a demon who helps me. After becoming a skeleton, every single day has been like hell for me. I know you're worried, but you don't need to worry so much. Besides, if I get into danger, Violet will save me. Right? So stop worrying and let's hurry up. I'm going to get a sunburn." Violet thought to herself, how can he be so shameless about accepting help like that? But maybe it's not like that. Could it be that Lewis trusts me? She immediately clenched her fists, her eyes filled with determination. "I want to repay that trust." Before, the black dragon had asked her, "But why did you let Lord Lewis die like that?" She hadn't dared to answer, only stammering, "That's—" With resolve in her eyes, she thought, "I will absolutely never let that happen again. I will risk my life to protect him." Meanwhile, the young man, despite being just a skeleton, and still hadn't forgotten to care about his appearance. "I can't let this handsome face get sunburned." Evening, at Akanus. Lewis's group had finally arrived. Violet reminded Lewis, "Security isn't great here, so please stay close to me, okay?" Seeing this, the black dragon cut in. "You knew that and still brought Lord Lewis here? You truly are a heartless person." And then she started hitting on Lewis again. "You'll stay by my side, won't you? I'll protect you." He wore a weary expression. Don't stand so close. It's hot." Violet said angrily, "The reason I brought him here is to find a way to restore Lewis's face. Don't you dare try to twist my words like that. As expected, Violet had it all planned out. Thanks, Lewis, for trusting me like this. Violet immediately turned around and gave the Black Dragon a smug smirk, which really got on her nerves. Oh, what's with that look on your face? If you've got a problem, come and get me. After wandering the city for a while, the three found an inn to rest for the night. Lewis, exhausted, massaged his shoulder. It's late, let's turn in for the night. There are 2 rooms, so you two can figure out the sleeping arrangements. See you tomorrow. Noticing the Black Dragon following him, he asked, What is it? She replied, If there are 2 rooms, then shouldn't Sir Lewis be sharing with me? Violet furiously shouted, Can't you stay away from Lewis for 1 second? Why are you making things so difficult? Lewis said, I'll just go to my room to stop this awkwardness. Violet tried to follow, but the Black Dragon grabbed her by the hair and pulled her back. And just like that, the 2 started arguing, sparks flying from their eyes. I will be the one to look after Sir Lewis. Not a chance. He can't sleep in the same room as a demon. He could only sigh helplessly. It's tough being this handsome. In the end, that night, the only guy in the group got a room to himself while the 2 girls had to share. The Black Dragon muttered under her breath, Damn it! Violet turned to her and said, Don't use such vulgar language. Cursing is a bad habit. I'm a demon. We're supposed to be evil, so what's wrong with cursing? If it wasn't for you, I would have been in the same room as Sir Lewis by now. As long as I'm around, that will never happen. So, you're saying if you weren't here, it would be okay, right? Just try me. With their war of words over, sir. The 2 of them decided to settle it with their fists. One threw a punch, the other a kick. Neither of them was willing to give an inch. At some point, their fight spilled over into another room. The man and woman inside screamed in terror, What do you think you're doing? The 2 of them hastily apologized, but then Violet suddenly realized this was Lewis's room. Lewis, are you okay? They both rushed in to check, but couldn't find him anywhere. The Black Dragon said, Sir Lewis isn't here. He must have just gone out for a walk or something. But Violet didn't believe that. Soon, the Black Dragon's gaze fell upon what Violet was holding. Hey, human! That's Sir Lewis's skeleton, and his cloak. Violet added, Lewis would never take off his cloak just to go outside. It seems that while they were fighting, he was kidnapped. In the dead of night, a carriage sped down a dirt path. Inside, Lewis was still fast asleep. Behind it, the 2 girls were chasing at top speed. The Black Dragon asked Violet, Hey, human, any idea where they're going? She looked ahead. Over there. Following Violet's finger, she saw the auction house in the village center. The Black Dragon was confused. An auction house? Isn't that just a place for buying and selling things? Violet explained, They sell everything there, where an item came from or how it was acquired. They won't ask a single question, even if something was stolen or taken by force. Inside that auction house, none of that matters. As long as it sells for a price, they'll auction anything. The Black Dragon asked, So Lewis could be auctioned off too? He just looks like a useless pile of bones. Violet replied, In this world which defies all imagination, and there are far more crazies and weirdos than you could possibly think. Case in point, I'm traveling with a demon like you. Just then, both of them sensed danger. An arrow shot towards them, tearing through the air, but Violet was faster. She caught it with her bare hand. She asked in a low voice, Who are you? In front of her were 2 men whispering to one another. Heh heh heh, a sneak attack. But instead of dodging it, she caught it. These 2 were the twin brothers, X and Cha. She's totally my type. Huh? You too, little brother? What? You mean you feel the same, big brother? You're talking about the one with purple hair, right? Me? You mean you were also talking about the purple-haired girl? But Mom told us we shouldn't fight over women. Then how about we just kill her? Good idea. No fighting, just killing. We're good boys who always listen to Mommy. The 2 charged forward shouting, I'm X, and I'm Cha. Remember our names before you die. However, they didn't even get to look cool for 5 seconds. With just a few simple moves, Violet sent them to the afterlife. Then she coldly sheathed her 2 daggers. Let's go. The Black Dragon asked, puzzled, What are you doing? Aren't you going to capture them? Don't be ridiculous. I think so too. Outside the Acanis auction house, 2 soldiers are guarding the door. Inside, the manager is introducing the next auction item, a belonging of a hero who specialized in slaying dragons. 2 pairs of Hero Drake's underpants. They're a pair of rabbit-patterned boxers, but who knows how many days they've been worn without being washed, so they're a bit musty. Hero Drake only wore this single pair. Throughout his entire adventure, this is the pair of underpants that holds all the hardships and perils. That our hero endured. The customers below begin to bid. Finally, the MC announces, "Hero Drake's underpants belong to the guest who bid 25 gold. Congratulations." Next, 2 people bring out the new item. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. The final item of the day." As he spoke, he yanked off the cloth. "This is a portrait of the #1 most handsome man, Louis. Sir Louis, a man so beautiful that even monsters fall for him. With the most perfect beauty, a man as lovely as a flower. Even monsters fall in love with him the moment they see his face, even if his personality is a little crazy. But people still find that very attractive. However, it's still too early to be surprised. Whichever guest buys this painting today will receive Sir Lewis's skeleton as a free bonus." Turns out our guy wasn't the auction item, just a promotional giveaway. Talk about a fall from grace. The MC was a bit skeptical. Is this really Sir Lewis's skeleton? Is it real? What an idiot. It's just a skeleton I picked up at an inn. But he quickly let out a sinister laugh. How could you possibly verify it? The painting is sold. The bones are sold. I'll even make double the profit. He began his sales pitch. This skeleton belongs to Sir Lewis, I guarantee it. Placing it in your home will help lift your spirits. What people nowadays call healing, right? Even though Sir Lewis has passed away, he will always be right in front of you. This is a special edition, you know. You won't be able to find it unless it's resold. He raised a finger and declared, "Sir Lewis Special Edition. The starting price is 100 gold. The crowd below immediately bid 300 gold, 500 gold, 600 gold, 700 gold. A guest has offered 800 gold. 800 gold it is. It seems there's still another bidder, perhaps." Suddenly, a mysterious person bid 1,000 gold. The excited MC shouted, "This is the highest price we've ever had. If there are no other guests who wish to bid, then I shall—" But just then, the door to the auction room was destroyed. Terrified, he stared blankly and asked, "What's going on?" "Hey!" Black Dragon and Violet appeared. "Where have you hidden Louis? Cursing isn't nice, you know. I'm an evil demon, so I'm allowed to curse. Are you even listening to me?" They quickly noticed the stage. Sure enough, Louis was being hung up on the auction block. Before Violet could even react, Black Dragon shot forward like a bolt of lightning. The auction house guards immediately rushed out to stop them. Seeing this, Violet quickly joined the fight. The clash of their weapons created a shocking explosion, causing the terrified guests to flee in chaos. The crowd murmured among themselves, "Did they kill her?" "Don't say things like that." The dust cleared, revealing the 2 of them. Black Dragon said to Violet, "They're strong, but not as strong as you." But then Black Dragon noticed Violet was bleeding. "You're injured. I'll go get Louis. You be careful, okay?" Violet warned. "Don't let your guard down." "Right. This is an item auction, so there are a lot of nobles and wealthy families here. That means they have their own personal bodyguards. There's probably no shortage of A-rank powerhouses." Before the battle began, Violet said to Black Dragon, "Hey, Demon King of Calamity, if you truly care about Louis, then please help me protect him." Black Dragon replied nonchalantly, "Why should I help you?" This left Violet a bit stunned. "What?" Black Dragon ran a hand through their hair and said with a smile, "You should be the one helping me." Violet replied, "Yes, I will protect him." "Well then, I guess I have no other choice." "All right. Since we share the same goal, let's help each other out." After that, the 2 began to fight in perfect sync against their enemies. With every passing second, another person blocking their path would fall. They exclaimed in fear, "Unbelievable! Why are you 2 so strong?" The more the 2 fought, the more fired up they got. "This is so thrilling!" At that moment, the MC suddenly yelled, "You thieves! What do you want?" He walked forward slowly, a hammer in his hand. "How interesting." He looked towards Louis. "In this auction, Sir Lewis has always been the main item. But if my esteemed guests are put in danger because of this item," as he spoke, he tightened his grip on the hammer, "then I'd rather destroy it." With that, he immediately swung the hammer up and smashed Lewis's skeleton in front of everyone in the auction room. But deep down, I bet that old man is laughing his ass off. My acting was just too perfect. If I just run away now, if I just stepped outside for a bit, the customers would lose their trust in me. But if I act like this, then after today, even more customers will come flocking to me. I've already gotten my hands on the real skeleton of Sir Lewis, which means the skeleton from this inn is just a fake. Just then, the Black Dragon came to her senses, softly calling Louis's name. The customers also quickly felt a terrifying pressure enveloping the place. It made it hard to breathe, their hearts pounding. What the hell is this godforsaken place? It was a bizarre sight. The black dragon, with tears in her eyes, said, I promised I would get your form back for you, Louis, but I was too arrogant. Today all of you will die here. Inside the auction house, horrified screams echoed endlessly outside. Benton, a royal guard also known as Storm Giraffes, was there. He was so scared he couldn't control his bladder because the scene before him was too horrifying to accept. My name is Giraffes, and I'm the main character. Though I was born into poverty, I possessed overwhelming power. Perhaps it was because I was born poor that I received a talent for magic. So I enrolled in the elite program at the Magic Academy, and with my superior strength, I helped raise my family's status. But that superior strength was nothing compared to the demon lord before him. The black dragon's eyes were emotionless as she looked at him. All of you, die. But suddenly Violet stopped her. If you keep this up, the building will collapse. The black dragon screamed in fury. Are you blind? They killed Louis. But Violet was completely calm. No, Louis isn't dead. What? She began to analyze the situation. Take a closer look at Louis's bone fragments. Louis gained a superhuman regeneration ability when he became a skeleton soldier. It's a high-level complete regeneration ability, like healing magic. Does this mean Louis is still alive? That's right. But this building might collapse. Far off in the distance, the manager was planning to use this chance to slip away. But how could his actions escape Violet's eyes? I will punish those who wish to pick the flower. Anyone who dared to even think about touching the flower in her heart. She would absolutely destroy them, no matter the cost. Violet was absolutely furious. She remembered the words of Louis and the Black Dragon. You'll save me, right? The shame of not being able to live up to his trust. How could you let Sir Louis die like that? The disappointment of not being able to protect that flower. Until Louis recovered, Violet decided she would unleash her wrath in her own way. Even the Black Dragon couldn't help but be surprised by Violet's expression. How strange. She's clearly human, so why is she radiating an energy even more sinister than the demon clans? I'm feeling scared facing her. Maybe it's because I haven't used my full power. But whoever I am in this situation, there's no guarantee I would win. But wait, why am I for a moment afraid of a mere human? Who am I? I am the Black Dragon Afrost, the one known as the strongest demon lord of all time. I will not lose to some sneak attackers. The Black Dragon was immediately blown away by her aura. I'll recover soon enough. There's no other way. Watch closely, Violet. I will save Sir Louis before you do. The Black Dragon's entire body was instantly flooded with demonic energy. You ugly bastards, give me back Louis, Violet thought to herself. Whether it was in our last fight or now, aside from fatal wounds, she won't dodge any attack. Is she not afraid of death? I swore I would risk my life to protect Louis, but my resolve is weaker than hers. Unexpectedly, that old man was still alive. He was the organizer of the auction, Oafara, a former nameless knight and a criminal who accepted bribes. Taking advantage of Violet's inattention, he rushed forward with a knife, intending to attack her from behind. You dare ruin my auction? You'll pay with your life. For a moment he thought he had succeeded, but the truth was he had only slashed her afterimage. Just as the old man was still arrogantly thinking, just a lowly little item, daring to trespass on my territory, her knife had already coldly ended his life. I should be grateful that the Demon Clan has this kind of awareness. It's the only way I can improve, for Louis's sake. Just then, Violet suddenly sensed something. She hurriedly turned around. At some point, the Black Dragon had fallen into an extremely unstable state. Violet thought, she can't control her own power? If this continues, this place will be destroyed. With that thought, she immediately tightened her grip on her knife, preparing to act. Who knows how much time had passed? Louis suddenly jolted awake. In front of him were Black Dragon and Violet, who were crudely bandaged. You're awake, Louis. Do you have amnesia? He looked around in a daze, not understanding anything at all. Is this a dream? I remember being somewhere else. The two of them put on innocent faces and explained, I think you just had a nightmare. Here, have some water, Louis. As he drank the water, he asked, But what happened to your faces? Did you two just get into a fight? Ah, no, that's not it. It's not what you think. Wait, what? Did you two break the wall? Black Dragon had no choice but to confess. Louis, I'm the one who destroyed that wall. But I couldn't control my magic, and the wall was destroyed when Violet tried to restrain me. Is that right? Violet responded. Ah, yes. After that, the two of them left Louis's room. Black Dragon stretched. Ugh, I'm so bored. Violet asked her, Why did you lie? Do you really think I'm going to warm up to you just because of this? You're still a dangerous person. Black Dragon put on an uncaring face. So what? She tossed something to Violet. Here, take this. Violet asked, is this ointment? Black Dragon didn't answer, only saying, I can't stand being indebted to anyone. Though she didn't say it out loud, Violet was very happy inside. Are you worried about me? Meanwhile, in Louis's room, he was slowly savoring a cup of hot coffee. Though how he managed to drink it without a tongue or a stomach is anyone's guess. He slowly placed the coffee cup down on the table. He recalled what had just happened. It wasn't a dream. They lied to me. Afros and Violet were protecting me. That's why their faces were so badly injured. They would go this far for my sake. Louis looked down at his own skeletal arms, then suddenly slapped his face hard as if to motivate himself. If I can just get my appearance back, I'll do whatever it takes. He remembered what Black Dragon and Violet had told him. I will go with you and help you get your appearance back. Watering the flowers is my job. I'm not forcing them to do this, but I was the one who asked them in the first place. I feel so guilty, but I just want to find my old appearance again. I'm always just thinking about myself. Suddenly, a voice called from outside. Louis! Louis, are you in there? He opened the window and asked, Violet? Louis, we have a huge problem. She worriedly explained, Afros had a high fever all night, and in the end, she couldn't control her power and turned into the Black Dragon. Where is she? If we don't handle this in time, I'm afraid this whole castle will go up in flames. He immediately jumped out, his arms and legs falling off in the process. I'll head to where Afros is right now, he thought to himself. Afros has turned into the Black Dragon? How wonderful, isn't it? The two of them quickly went to find her. Violet said to Louis, We're almost there. Got it. He thought to himself gleefully, This isn't just a normal dragon, it's the Black Dragon Demon Lord. Isn't this fantastic? If Afros turns into a dragon, then getting my appearance back will only be a matter of time. Afros, just you wait. I'm on my way. However, in reality, the Black Dragon had indeed transformed, but not in the way he imagined. It turned out she had been turned into a little lowly dragon. At this moment, the little dragon was enjoying playing in the sand in a children's playground. Just like that, the vision of riding a majestic dragon and showing off to everyone that had played out in his imagination completely shattered. At the Demon Lord's castle, a group of demons was looking up with terrified and disbelieving expressions. That's the former Demon Lord, the Black Dragon Afros, huh? With a fearsome gaze, she boldly declared, I have come to take back my throne as the Demon Lord. The demons below were terrified. Quick, run! But they couldn't escape her grasp, except this was all just the Black Dragon's imagination as she played in the sand. Die, all of you! The little girl was playing happily, not knowing that behind her, Louis had raised his hand. Then he gave her a painful bonk on the head before hastily slinging her over his shoulder and running away, to the astonishment of everyone around. A skeleton? Or am I just seeing things? You saw it too? So did I. Not wanting the information to spread, the human-powered memory eraser had to step in. A while later, Violet met up with Louis and the Black Dragon. The little girl was now bowing her head, apologizing to him. Afros, are you back to your senses? Yes. Black Dragon broke out in a sweat and asked Louis, When I lost control, did I do anything bad to you? No, he replied, of course not. How could you possibly do anything wrong, as expected of Louis, the one who can humiliate me, the former Demon King, for no reason at all? How wonderful. Feeling that the Black Dragon had learned her lesson, he allowed the little girl to stand up. He asked curiously, What happened to you? The Black Dragon stammered. Well, she thought to herself, my body probably hasn't recovered from overusing my power. But I can't let him know the truth, because Louis might worry. She pretended to scratch her head with a nonchalant look. I'm not really sure myself. When I woke up, I was already like this. He said, You're a far cry from the dragons I imagined. Can you return to your original form? I probably can! The Black Dragon clenched her fist confidently. Even though I'm not what you expected, I will protect you at all costs. Suddenly, Louis used both hands to lift the little girl high up. As expected, compared to them, the little girl was tiny. You're going to protect me in this little form? Louis said to her. Trying to help me get my body back is nice and all, but you should worry about yourself first before you worry about me, okay? The Black Dragon was stunned, a faint blush appearing on her cheeks. I understand? Yes. He didn't forget to encourage Violet as well. You too, Violet? Yes. But seeing the little lolly dragon, he couldn't help but want to pet this fur. It's so soft. Violet saw this scene. She was too angry to even speak. Meanwhile, the little girl was happily thinking to herself, "Damn it, I touched cheeks with Lewis." However, because the black dragon's body was too hot, Lewis instinctively let go. What's up with petting someone to your heart's content and then just dropping them on the ground with a thud? How infuriating. At that moment, the little girl was in pure bliss, her whole body trembling non-stop. Her gaze happened to meet Violet's, so the little girl didn't forget to give her rival a smug smirk. This made Violet extremely salty, but there was nothing she could do. Afterwards, the three of them went outside. Lewis comfortably enjoyed the cool breeze. "Ah, this feels amazing. The cool sensation is seeping into my very bones." He suddenly turned back and asked, startling them both, "But aren't we supposed to leave tonight? Why are you two in such a hurry?" The two of them stammered, Well, the thing is, we can't stay in the village for too long." It turned out these two were wanted, with a bounty of 100 gold coins. They immediately sounded the village alarm. "It's also to quickly find a new appearance for you, Lewis." "That's right. Afrost has already prepared everything we need." Lewis was skeptical. "Really?" But he didn't really care anymore. "Awesome. I feel like I'm one step closer to getting my appearance back." The two girls couldn't help but chuckle at his clueless reaction. The black dragon suddenly said, "Thanks for last night." "What, you think I didn't know?" "When I couldn't control my power and almost lost it, you were the one who stopped me. And you even took care of me all night. You think I wouldn't notice?" Violet replied, "Don't mention it. I just didn't want Lewis to worry over something trivial. I don't care what you do, but don't cause any more trouble that he has to deal with." "I'm warning you." Lewis had caught the scent of food. "Violet, it smells like delicious meat over here. Let's eat first, then we'll go." The black dragon thought to herself, "She's as cold as ice to me, but so warm towards Lewis. This human truly has no manners." Soon, the three of them entered a roadside eatery. They chose a table and sat down. There were many people eating around them. "For me, the great demon king, to have to touch this piece of junk? Why?" Lost doll. A doll that earnestly wants its owner back. One squeeze and your stress will vanish. "Lewis, what do you think?" Durable hair tie. An extremely sturdy hair tie. The length can be adjusted at will. This doesn't seem to suit me. Berserker's necklace. A necklace that unleashes a powerful burst of energy a single time. Disappears after use. Shy cloak. A cloak that perfectly conceals the face, made by a shy person. It can occasionally reveal a glimpse of one's prime beauty. He immediately threw it away. Annoying. I don't want it. But Violet caught it. "You can't do that, Lewis. Our upcoming journey might be much more difficult than you think. The weather, monsters, demons, even our own kind. This necklace will definitely be useful to you. Let me put it on for you." Although he didn't like it much, he had to accept it in the end. "This feels so cumbersome." He turned to the black dragon and asked, "Anyway, where did you get all this stuff?" "This stuff? While I was passing by, I saw something shiny." "Yes. So I just pocketed all of it." He was speechless. "You can just do that, Grandma?" The black dragon not only felt no shame, but also bluntly declared, "I'm an evil demon, so what's wrong with stealing a little?" "Oh my God, listen to you. But then again, I think that's even better. Approved. If you keep this attitude up, I'll have my body back in no time. Just leave it to me!" Seeing this, Violet didn't know what to say. Oh, that personality of hers. "Man, I'm so full." Soon enough, the three of them had devoured all the food on the table. All three were full, their faces relaxed. "Now that we've eaten, let's get going." Louis was surprised when someone from behind called out to them. "Excuse me, customers, please wait a moment." "Is something wrong?" "You haven't paid yet." Louis asked in surprise. "Paid? Paid for what?" "Why should I have to pay? I'm already doing you a huge favor just by eating here." Violet was getting antsy. Everything felt so natural that even I forgot Louis had never paid for a meal before. Another voice spoke up. "What's going on? What's the problem, boss? The customer hasn't paid? You people ate all that food and refused to pay up? That means you planned on skipping out on the bill from the very beginning." The restaurant owner said to Louis, "Hey, brat, are you standing up to me?" In his hand was an iron mace. "I don't know what gave you the guts." A second later, his expression became extremely perverted. "But if you don't have money, you'll have to pay with your body." Restaurant owner, Holy Night. "Pay with my body? If that's the case, I'm quite confident," Louis replied without hesitation. "That's my specialty, after all." At the next table, two men were whispering. Is he really going to pay the Holy Knight with his body? This kid must be insane. The owner stepped forward and continued, Paying with your body is your specialty, you say? I must admit, you're pretty confident. He placed a hand on his shoulder. Let me guess. You won't be able to walk out of here today. But before he could finish his sentence, Violet landed a punch that sent him flying to the ceiling. A female employee cried out in alarm, Sir, are you okay? Please, wake up! The man, his face now deformed, quickly came to his senses. What just happened? Even though it was just for a brief moment, he thought to himself, the instant I touched that kid's shoulder. That purple-haired girl clenched her fist and... Wait. Speaking of purple hair, could that be Violet? Violet was surprised. How do you know my name? He started sweating. I remember now. A few years ago, my family came from a long line of knights, passed down from generation to generation. My dream was to become the strongest man. And then one day, in a small village, he accidentally bumped into a passerby. Seeing that the other person just walked away without apologizing made him furious. He immediately placed a hand on their head. When you bump into someone, you're supposed to apologize. What's with that look? What, you got a problem with that? Or do you want me to beat you until you're on your knees begging for mercy, huh? But just a moment later, he was the one begging. Please, spare me! I couldn't believe I had lost to a woman. But what was even more unbelievable was Louis. Appearing out of nowhere, Louis asked, Violet, did you hit him? I'm sorry, Louis, that man... He just said one thing to her, and it made that powerful girl... And submit. Who on earth is he? Could he be the strongest man? The very title I dreamed of achieving? Are you okay? I'm fine. For the first time I tasted defeat. But the strong are always drawn to those who are stronger. I became completely infatuated with Lord Louis. It wasn't love, but absolute respect. I was ready to express my feelings. One day, he gathered all his courage, offered flowers, and tried to talk to Louis. Lord Louis, hello. It is an honor to meet you. My name is Holy Knight. From the moment I first saw you, I've... Before he could finish, he met Violet's murderous gaze. A confession? That day, I couldn't express my true feelings for him. In the end, he could only drop the bouquet and run for his life. And so, time passed. Until today. He had met Violet again. But then, a thought struck him, startling him. The person who's always stuck to his side like glue suddenly appears here. Oh, wait a minute. If that's the case, then the man in the cloak standing next to Violet is... Lord Louis? He thought to himself. Why would he be wearing a cloak? Could it be because he's so handsome he's afraid of being mobbed? If it's Lord Louis, that's entirely possible. Seeing the strongest man again made his heart pound once more. But I'm so much weaker now than I was before. I can't let Lord Louis see me in this pathetic state. But he probably doesn't even remember who I am anyway. He slumped to the floor, dejected. Let's just pretend none of this ever happened. Honey, just let them go. He turned his face away and said, We still have to prepare food for lunch. But Louis's next words made the Holy Knight freeze. It's good to see you're safe. I've always wondered where you went after that day. So this is where you've been living, huh? I read the letter you left in the bouquet, by the way. You have nice handwriting. And the dishes you cook are also made with great skill. I'm sorry for putting you in a difficult position today, but don't worry. After I've taken care of my business, I will definitely come back to pay for the meal. His wife was furious. Honey, are you really just going to let those people leave? Are they crazy or something? Leaving without even paying? Darling, are you even listening to me? But at that moment, tears of emotion were already streaming down his face. He still hasn't forgotten me? Then he cried out in joy, The strongest man alive still remembers me. The two guests at the next table continued their gossip. Oh my, I've lived to see it all. That's the first time I've ever seen a holy knight shed a tear, and he even called that kid the strongest. Who really is that man in the cloak? Darling, people are staring. Besides, he's with such a beautiful girl. His own looks can't be shabby, can they? In the city of Frigiris, inside the adventurer exam hall, a large crowd was gathered. Suddenly, a childish voice rang out. Hey, you with the beard! Get out of my way! What? The man turned around but saw no one. It turned out to be the Black Dragon. Are you deaf? I told you to move so Master Louis can get through. The Black Dragon's angry expression only made her look cuter. Louis, what are you doing here? I'm planning to take the test to become an adventurer, he said. We need to earn some money now. Let Afro and me earn money for you. Isn't that right? She and Violet can just earn the money for you. So how do you two plan on making money? The Black Dragon replied,
I have a way. I'll just beat those people up and take all their money. Afro is from the wicked demon race, so it's fine.
Hearing this, Lewis broke into a sweat. Don't you two have any conscience? He then put a hand on their shoulders and ruffled their hair. But I'm really happy that you're both worried about me. Still, I can't rely on you forever. Right now, we don't have a single coin to buy food. How could I bear to let you two go hungry? In their eyes at that moment, it seemed Lewis was no longer just a dry skeleton. He had returned to the peerlessly handsome man he once was. Yes! Afterwards, he went to the registration desk. I'm here to take the adventurer exam. Please move to the right, sir. I think I just caught a glimpse of Master Lewis' face. It must have been my imagination. No way! It wasn't a mistake! I saw it too! Lewis, I want to register too. Master Lewis, me too. The first round of the adventurer exam would begin with a physical fitness test. The audience above cheered enthusiastically. You're doing great, almost at the finish line. Meanwhile, the Black Dragon had even brought glow sticks and a megaphone, like a die-hard fan cheering for her idol. The little girl wasn't eligible to take the test due to a rule requiring all candidates to be human. Master Lewis, you can do it! Kill them all! This is just a physical fitness test. Down below, Lewis didn't know how long he had been running. He only knew he had never felt so tired in his life. Just kill me. Round 1 has ended. Here are the results of the adventurer exam. 3rd place, male division. 2nd place, female division. 1st place is Violet. And finally, in last place, is Lewis. The crowd couldn't help but snicker. Dead last, huh? But they stopped laughing when it was announced that he had passed thanks to a supplementary spot. Feeling cocky, the young man started to brag. Actually, I was intentionally holding back. These trivial little tests are beneath me. Rewind to 1 hour earlier. A woman's voice spoke up. It is a great pleasure to meet all of you. I am the examiner for the final test. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Elnan, an elven ninja examiner. The crowd immediately erupted in murmurs. I can't believe it's Elnan. What awful luck. Compared to other examiners, the passing rate with her is only half. The noise from below greatly annoyed Elnan. She quickly acted to punish the noisy ones. No talking. Her eyes were cold, and in her hands were sharp, hidden daggers. Violet thought to herself, she pierced the ground with just a small needle? Elnan continued, this test is very simple. You just need to survive my attacks until time is up. You, the one nodding off over there, step forward. For the crime of dozing off, Lewis was chosen by the examiner to be the example for the other candidates. The test begins. Elnan said, There's something on your shirt. He looked down but didn't find anything. Where is it? Waiting for him to drop his guard, she quickly moved into an attack stance. Oh, it seems you know how to give a proper greeting. As a result, he was defeated before he could even react. The candidates below immediately started criticizing, an elf using a sneak attack? Fight fair and square. Elnan then landed and replied, An adventurer must never let their guard down. If he falls for a trap this easily, he is completely unqualified. Now next. But then she was suddenly taken aback. You just dodged my attack? Impossible. How did you dodge that? My attacks are so fast the naked eye can't see them. Yet you're just standing there like a deer in the headlights. Huh? Was I just attacked? I didn't even feel a thing. Suddenly he asked a question that made her skin crawl. Are you sure you've even attacked me yet? Aaron was furious. Are you saying my attack was nothing to you? How dare a mere candidate be so insolent? I'll teach you some manners. As she spoke, she threw projectiles at him. Violet screamed in worry, Lewis! The Black Dragon even wanted to jump into the fight but was held back by someone. Elnan panted after the attack. Now do you see? This is the gap in our power. But Lewis was still completely unharmed. What gap? Elnan questioned. How could you dodge all of that? Without even flinching, I was aiming right for your vital points. The fact that her attacks didn't inflict a single scratch? The reason was actually very simple. Examiner Elnan specialized in attacking vital points, but this guy is all bones, so there's not a damn thing for her to hit. Therefore, Elnan's countless strikes aimed at his vitals had no effect on Lewis, who had no vital points to begin with. Unaware of this truth, in Elnan's eyes, Lewis was like something she simply couldn't handle. To her, he had become a terrifying monster. All of a sudden, something seemed off about Elnan. She kept muttering to herself, her eyes growing cold. Kill. I have to kill him. The Black Dragon and Violet also sensed the killing intent. They shouted a warning, Lewis, watch out behind you! But Elnan's speed was too great and he couldn't dodge her attack. Instantly, it created an explosion that rocked the arena. Even the other candidates were blinded by the dust from the shockwave.
What the hell is going on?
Is she trying to kill him? Luckily, in that dangerous moment, Violet and the Black Dragon intervened just in time.
What do you think you're doing to Lewis? Stop it right now!
The Black Dragon said while chewing on her arm. She's acting really strange. A moment later, Elnan was back to normal.
What was I just doing?
It seemed she had no memory of what had just happened. After Lewis's test, the examiner was replaced. The other candidates continued with their exams.
Louis is the best.
And the result was, Lewis passed in last place. I was only using a fraction of my power. Congratulations, Lewis.
Congrats, Lewis.
It's no big deal, he told the two of them. I'm going to go get a quest.
You two just wait here, okay?
All right, Lewis. After he left, a person approached them to talk. Lady Violet, so this is where you were. It's a pleasure to meet you. This man in black armor was Penton, the leader of the Peritas Guild, one of the Empire's 4 great guilds. Penton, I would like to invite you, my lady, to join our guild. Suddenly, another voice cut in. Well, it seems I'm a little late. The man in red armor was Solid, leader of the Solidus Guild, another one of the Empire's 4 great guilds. Solidus, what would you say to joining our Solidus Guild? You're inviting me? The two of them began to argue.
Hey, Solidus, I was here first.
Actually, I came yesterday. I've been here since last week.
No, I arrived last month.
The people around couldn't help but feel a mix of admiration and jealousy. A rookie who just became an adventurer was already being scouted by 2 of the 4 great guilds. Lady Violet, please join our guild. Is there any wish you have that remains unfulfilled? Violet simply said, Can you help restore my friend's body to its original state? The 2 men were surprised. What? To be precise, can you save someone who isn't alive, but isn't exactly dead either? Is that possible? The 2 fell into deep thought. Half alive, half dead? We've never heard of such a thing before. She replied, In that case, I'm sorry, but I must refuse your offers. If you can't help him return to normal, then I have no reason to join. I will stay by the side of the one I trust. Just at that moment, a bony arm appeared from the crowd. Violet, we've got a quest! Violet said goodbye to the 2 captains. Well then, I'll be taking my leave. After that, she and the Black Dragon quickly ran to regroup with Lewis. The other 2 were still confused. Restoring the body of someone who's neither alive nor dead? We've never heard such a bizarre reason. Losing an invitation to one of the 4 great guilds to some guy. Who on earth is he? He must be unbelievably powerful. We saw it with our own eyes. The silver-haired girl was the leader of the Pulum Guild, one of the Empire's 4 great guilds, Bunker. And the man standing behind her was the leader of the Mythos Guild, another of the Empire's 4 great guilds, Mystic. Someone that strong won't appear a second time. Bunker, you can never know for sure. It's very possible Louis has already died and come back to life. That evening, in a dungeon that served as a goblin's den, a group of goblins were trembling as if something terrifying stood before them. It turned out Louis's group had arrived in their territory to make a name for themselves. Soon, a large goblin appeared. Get out of the way, you idiots! 3 of you can't even handle them? Who are you to dare trespass on my territory, huh? His name was Wango, the Goblin King. The man and the goblin stared at each other, feeling a strange sense of familiarity. You're Louis, a flashback began. When I woke up as a skeleton, this is the goblin I met back then? The one who beat me to a pulp, wasn't it? Seeing him tremble, Violet asked with concern, Louis, what's wrong? The Goblin King thought to himself, This coward. Let me give you a reminder of the good old days, skeleton. But before he could finish his sentence, he was smacked in the mouth with a club, sending his front teeth flying. A dangerous light gleamed in his eyes. We meet again, you green-skinned bastard. After getting their revenge, Louis invited the 2 of them out for drinks to celebrate. By late night, the 2 girls were completely wasted and didn't wake up until noon. My head is killing me. It feels like it's about to split open. Louis was standing by the window, sunbathing. The Black Dragon hesitantly asked, What happened yesterday? He replied, You were both so drunk that I had to carry you home. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Go have some breakfast. But when his hood fell off, his face was covered in bruises. The 2 of them, both angry and heartbroken, rushed to ask Louis, What happened to your face? Who did this to you? Who did it? He thought to himself, This is so embarrassing. How can I let them know that the great Louis got beaten up? Don't overreact, I just fell down on the street. He told them to hurry up. wash their faces, and come down for breakfast. Violet's head was still aching, but those injuries didn't look like they came from a fall at all. I think I'm starting to remember what happened yesterday. But the black dragon was so enraged that she reverted to her true form. Lewis hid the fact that he was beaten because he was afraid of worrying us. Recalling last night, the two of them were dead drunk. Oh my God, Lewis. You're glowing all around you, you idiot. That's just the glare from that bald guy's shiny head. It seemed a group of men had come to pick a fight. Beat him to death for me. These are the bastards from yesterday, Violet. The black dragon's eyes filled with murderous intent. I'll take care of all those scum for daring to do this to Lewis. Violet said, I already told you. Don't do anything that would make Lewis uncomfortable. The black dragon grew angry. Seeing him like this, how can you still say that, Violet? But then she pulled out a knife. Fine, then. I'll go with you. The black dragon was surprised. What? Violet coldly declared. Those who dared to harm him must be punished, so they can never do it again for the rest of their lives, right? You're right, Violet. Why? The Heavens Paradise Guild hideout. A subordinate came in to report, Boss, you have visitors. But the boss just replied, tell them to come back later. She's very pretty. Really? Hearing that, he immediately became interested and told them to come in. Those two were none other than Violet and the Black Dragon. The bald leader twirled a knife in his hand and said, So it's you. You're the one who was with that coward from yesterday, right? Why come all the way here? And you even brought this pretty little thing with you. Are you two here for revenge? Instead of sticking with a weakling like him, why don't you choose us? We're much better than that guy. Violet didn't answer. She just took his hand and asked, Was it this hand that hit Lewis? But he was a bit dazed and said, Yes, it was this very hand. We're already holding hands, so when's the wedding? So that's how it is. But just a second later, that arm was chopped off by Violet. The entire room immediately echoed with a terrible scream that terrified everyone. Who would have thought that a beautiful girl like Violet could be so vicious? She coldly declared, If you dare use your remaining hand to hit him, you'd better be prepared. And if you plan to use your feet to stomp on him, don't blame me for chopping them off. You blockheads, how dare you hurt him? The bald man shouted in anger. You bitch! What are you doing? Attack! Kill them! The men looked at each other, their eyes showing a hint of hesitation. But in the end, they followed their boss's order and charged forward. Meanwhile, Lewis was at home treating his wounds. Ouch, that hurts. I told them not to hit me in the face. The black dragon pushed the door open and walked in. Lewis, we're back. Yeah? He asked. Where did you two just go? The black dragon replied, We brought back something very valuable. And there, the black dragon had brought back a blonde-haired man. Hurry up and greet Lewis, Goldmine. Goldmine? What do you mean? He was a bit curious. Who's that fat guy? The man angrily snapped, Insolent brat, do you have any idea who I am? The black dragon's eyes turned red as she roared, You're the insolent one, you bastard! If you don't want to die, speak to Lewis properly. Hearing that, the man immediately shut his mouth, not daring to say another word. After that, Violet also returned, and the black dragon transformed back into her lolly dragon form. Hurry up and eat breakfast. Okay. He also didn't forget to wave at the man. If you're hungry too, come and eat with us. The man fumed, Why should I have to eat with you people? But then his stomach quickly protested. Well, I'll just have one bite. He may have principles, but he can't stand being hungry. The four of them sat down at the table to eat together. The man thought to himself, What is this situation? My kidnappers aren't weak by any means, yet they handled everything so easily. They don't seem like the type to follow anyone's orders, and those two have completely different personalities. And yet you've become as meek as a lamb. Money and power can't control them either. Then there's only one possibility left. It must be that. While Lewis was eating breakfast, he was taken aback by the old man's actions. The man slammed his head on the table and introduced himself. My name is Dirup. I was once the lord of the Libellum domain. You were? But I've figured it all out now. What's hidden under that cloak is an extraordinary beauty, isn't it? He was startled. How did you know? Dirup continued. A man like me, who became a lord based solely on intuition, could naturally guess it. He stood up. Your name is Lewis, isn't it? I quite like you. Speaking of my daughter, she is a peerless beauty. The line of suitors asking for her hand is long. He then looked straight at him and asked, Do you want to marry my daughter? Surprisingly, he answered without hesitation, All right. This made the two girls so confused they forgot to eat. Dirup raised a finger. I will give you my daughter's hand, but on one condition. You think you can just marry the daughter of a lord like me without any conditions? Yes, he replied calmly. If that's the case, Then I take back my offer." Seeing this, the old man panicked. "But my daughter is very beautiful. In fact, she's gorgeous," he exclaimed as the young man stood up to speak. "I'm very busy. I don't have time to listen to your conditions, uncle. Besides, doesn't every father think his daughter is beautiful?" "Huh? You'd refuse to marry my daughter just because you're busy? Now this is the only way. You're searching for something, aren't you? How did you know? Didn't I already tell you? I became a lord thanks to my good intuition. I don't know exactly what you're looking for, but I can probably be of some help. You don't even know what I'm looking for, so how can you possibly help? Isn't it a waste of time to vaguely search for something you've lost?" Dirup made an offer. "Lewis, help me save the Libelim domain. If you do well, I will give you a treasure." The next day, the group rented a horse-drawn carriage. Along the way, the Black Dragon was sleeping soundly. "What's with this calm demeanor? How are we supposed to save Libelium like this?" The Black Dragon then showed off its claws. "If you're not convinced, just try fighting me and you'll see." "There's no need for that." Violet said, "Since it was Louis's decision, I'll follow along. But how exactly are you going to help us, Uncle? If you dare to deceive us, you better be prepared." Dirup thought to himself, "To think a former lord like myself has been reduced to this? How humiliating. But this isn't the right time. I'll explain about the treasure, so first, please put that knife down. Legend has it that hundreds of years ago, there was a map that helped people find whatever they wanted. My ancestors, after a fierce war, dreamed of a peaceful life. But thanks to that map, they discovered the Libelium domain. Libelium is a place that never floods, blessed with abundant sunshine and wind, where the harvests are always plentiful. It's also surrounded by a protective wall. It's easy to defend against enemies, but that peaceful domain is now being threatened by that man." Louis wondered who that man was. Dirup replied, "Someone who treats human lives like trash, but fortunately, I found you and brought you here. Louis, I believe that if you marry my daughter, you can protect this place." "You should have just told us about the map from the start." "So that's why you wanted to marry your daughter off to Louis?" "I had no other choice. Every time this topic came up, the two girls would get angry. Perhaps this domain means nothing to you all, but to me, Libelium is a place I must protect at all costs. To the point where I'm willing to marry my own daughter off to a complete stranger." Louis reassured him. "Don't worry." "Huh? As long as I can find what I'm looking for, I'm willing to do anything. So don't you forget your promise either, Uncle." "Yes, I understand. Then please take this seriously." Very quickly, they arrived at the town of Libelum. The first thing they did was experience the local food culture. Each of them held a skewer of grilled meat, eating as they walked. "Louis, what do you think?" "It's delicious. Let's buy a few more." "Okay." "Oh, that one looks good too. Let's buy it." Dirup, trailing behind, felt a bit helpless. "I told you all to be serious." But he was holding 6 skewers himself. "Louis, let's go." On the way, he happened to overhear people talking. "No matter how beautiful the lady is, do they really need to make such a big deal out of it? You only say that because you haven't seen her. She's absolutely radiant." Even this festival was organized by the prince just so he could propose to her. A prince is organizing such a grand festival just to marry a lady from this small domain. Looks like the future of this place is bright. I wouldn't be so sure. Our lady is incredibly picky. Countless men have come to propose, but she rejected every single one of them for not being handsome enough. The prince this time is quite tall and handsome, though. I wonder how it'll turn out. I hope everything goes smoothly. He asked Darut, "Your daughter doesn't take after you, does she?" "Hey, I was quite handsome in my day, you know." Just then, someone bumped into Darut, knocking him to the ground. He went over to help him up. "Are you all right, sir?" "Yeah, I'm fine." On the other side, the purple-haired man was helped up by his attendant. "Your Highness, are you all right?" "Let go of me, how annoying." This was Sibylum, the prince of the Umulus kingdom. The people around them began to whisper. Look at that reaction. He must have been rejected by the lady. Yeah, everyone who gets rejected acts like that. The prince thought to himself, all my life I've only ever heard people call me handsome, and now I've been called ugly. Rejected? He then advanced and grabbed Dirut by the collar. You there, do you have a death wish? How dare you stand in my way? Suddenly an arm stopped him. If you bump into someone, the least you can do is apologize. You ugly brute. Enraged, the two guards drew their swords. What did you just say? How dare you lay a hand on His Highness? You've got a lot of nerve. But Violet and the Black Dragon were faster than them. Drop your weapons! At that moment, the prince's whole body was trembling with rage. To be called ugly twice in one day? What a humiliation. I've never been this furious in my entire life. With that, He drew his sword and charged forward with a crazed look on his face. "Kill every last one of them for me!" But before he could even make a move, a shoe hit him square in the face. The two worried guards rushed to his side. "Oh, Your Highness," a girl's clear voice rang out. "I feel a bit guilty for rejecting your proposal, but what do you think you're doing to my father?" This white-haired girl was none other than Cerili, the lady of the Libelium domain. Hearing this, the crowd immediately began to stir. If that's the lady's father, does that mean he's Darut, the former lord who went missing? It was then the prince realized his mistake. "Wait a minute. Father-in-law? Father-in-law?" Cerili's voice was filled with rage. "You still don't understand the situation, do you? Is it because I rejected your proposal that you're taking it out on my father, grabbing him by the collar and threatening to kill him?" "Cerili, it's just a misunderstanding. I didn't know he was your father." "Is that so? Do you think my father will accept that excuse?" Cerili leaned down and spoke to him alone. "For the sake of your honor, I'll leave it at this. So don't cause any more trouble. Go back to your kingdom, Sibyllum." At Libellum Castle, Cerili was overjoyed to be reunited with her father. "What in the world has been going on? Are you still healthy, father? You've gotten so much thinner. I almost didn't recognize you. What on earth has happened to you all this time? I can't tell you just yet. When the time is right, I'll let you know." "There must be a reason. I understand." "Ah, Cerili, there's someone I want you to meet. His name is Louis. He's a young man I acknowledge as an absolute beauty, and he's the one who almost became your husband." Everyone sat down to talk. "Husband? What do you mean?" "Don't worry, Louis already refused. Who the hell does he think he is to refuse?" "Don't be upset. He hadn't even seen your face at the time. Dad acknowledged him and even suggested marriage." "Wow, it's hot today, isn't it?" "Dad knows perfectly well that I'm the type who only cares about looks. If he had agreed, he wouldn't have made it back alive to see you. Could he be the ideal man I've always dreamed of?" Her father suddenly asked Louis, "So, now that you've met, what do you think of my daughter? Do you regret refusing the marriage?" Her father saw him remain silent, and she also started to feel tense, but he just said, "Not my type. She looks too much like you, old man." The two girls behind him were absolutely ecstatic, as if they'd struck gold. "No!" The lady was furious. "So this is what it feels like to be rejected so bluntly. He's very calculating. That's Louis, right? You're pretty clever. Don't think I can't see what you're doing. Pretending to reject me first to avoid the humiliation of being dumped yourself. If you want to get my attention, then take off that cloak and let's see. Maybe if you're really handsome, I'll agree to marry you." But Louis just found her incredibly annoying. "Do you even understand human language? But I'm not interested in you, so stop bothering me. He calls my father uncle and speaks so informally to me, a lord's daughter. This insolent brat. You there. Seize him and skin him for me. I want to see just how beautiful that face of his is." The soldiers immediately followed her command, but just a few seconds later, they were all face first in the wall. "Sorry, but you can't peel Louis' skin off. That's right." The young lady thought to herself, "The best guards in the territory were defeated in a single blow? Who in the world is that guy?" Her father yelled furiously, "Sigeli, what are you doing? Stop it right now. How dare you treat my guest so violently?" "I'm truly disappointed in you, Sigeli." Her father turned to Louis and said, "I apologize on Sigeli's behalf." "It's all right. Yes. Sigeli, you have troubled everyone. Go to your room." "Yes." Before she left, she didn't forget to tell her father, "In a few days the Lord will return and thank heavens you've returned safely." Seeing the man cover his face, he immediately asked with concern, "Uncle, are you all right?" "Of course I'm fine." He stood up so quickly that a button popped off his shirt. "Louis, there's somewhere I need to be before the Lord returns. In the meantime, would you like to take a look around this territory?" Of course, he had no reason not to agree. All right. The next day, Louis was feeling very relaxed. The weather's beautiful, I'm in a good mood, and these skewers are delicious, too. But why do I feel like I'm being swarmed by a fly? The young lady snapped angrily. "Who are you calling a fly? I mean, why do you keep following me around? Aren't you a noble lady? Don't you have anything better to do?" But she stammered, unsure of what to say. That is, she wondered to herself, could he be the ideal type I've always dreamed of? LL Louis? I think you might be a dangerous person. He was starting to lose his patience. "This is so annoying. Do whatever you want. But stay a little further away." "What is this? Do you really see me as a fly?" Just as she was about to step forward to argue, she suddenly tripped on a rock at her feet. Her whole body fell towards him out of inertia. In her mind, she imagined a classic hero saves the damsel scene from a romance novel. Who would have thought he'd dodge her like she was the plague, causing the young lady to fall flat on her face?
I told you not to get so close.
I almost got hurt because of you.
This guy...
She turned and snapped angrily. Is that how you treat someone who just fell? He took out a handkerchief and wiped her wound. This is why you shouldn't follow me anymore. You're as clumsy as a child. Here, take this, but stop following me. It's annoying. My food's getting cold now. My lady, are you all right? The soldier asked her, but she paid him no mind at all. Up until now, all the men around me have been so fake, only showing off their appearances. But him, he may act rude, but he's incredibly sincere. Are you going to eat that much? But I find myself getting more and more curious about him. And so the young lady became his tail, following him everywhere. Hurry, keep up! The people around them saw this and were very angry. Who is that guy in the cloak? How dare he treat our lady so rudely? Why is the young lady following a guy like that? Suddenly someone spoke up. I get it now. The other two snapped, startled. What is it? You idiots! Haven't you figured it out yet? Our lady only cares about appearances. Wait, hold on. Then, could it be? That's right. That guy in the cloak, must be a peerlessly handsome man. That evening, everyone had returned to their rooms to rest, while the young lady was thrashing about on her bed. I spent all day chasing him, and he didn't take off his cloak even once. I wonder if he's really handsome. She asked her maid, Have you investigated Louis yet? Yes, many rumors about Louis are spreading. Yes? That he's the cloaked guy, so he isn't handsome? Is that information accurate? He's a man of peerless beauty. A man of peerless beauty? Really? She looked unconvinced. Thinking back, wherever he went, people would follow him. Everyone was starting to pay attention to Louis. The rumor that Lady C. Jelly is chasing after some guy is spreading everywhere, you know. I heard he's really handsome, right? Just because of his looks, the rumors have even reached my ears. The young lady's heart suddenly began to pound. Her face instantly flushed bright red. Is he really a man of peerless beauty? Meanwhile, this young man with no ears was scratching as if he really had them. Someone must be talking about me. Huh? Why are my ears suddenly so itchy? The next day, at the market, Louis shouted in panic. There's only one left. Ah, sorry, pal, this is the last one. Angrily, he argued with the shop owner. Someone already reserved it? We got here early this morning. How could they all be gone? The shop owner looked away. Meanwhile, Black Dragon was patting his stuffed stomach. You guys have eaten quite a lot already. I'm not sure why, but recently, I haven't seen any cheese fish cubes around the village. He suddenly said, Let us go catch them then. This startled the shop owner. Do you have a death wish? Normally, cheesefish cubes are hunted by digging traps because they're very aggressive and can spit an extremely dangerous poisonous gas. Just wait patiently a little longer. If you're lucky, maybe you'll run into them tomorrow. With that, the shop owner gave him the last meat skewer, but he still wouldn't give up. What you just said only makes us more eager to hunt them down, you know? Here, a freshly caught cheesefish cube skewer must be delicious. So ignoring the warnings, he was determined to set off. Let's go, everyone. Yes. Behind them, a guard asked, My lady, what should we do? Follow them, of course. That evening, the group followed Louis into the forest. Where are the cheesefish cubes? We've been walking for so long, but there's still no sign of them. Louis, it seems we've gone quite far. So was this all for nothing? Can we return to our territory now? The sun is about to set. Captain of the Libelim Village Knights, Habang. My lady is here as well. It will be very dangerous when night falls. Let's go back. No way. He waved his hand dismissively. If you're going to follow me, don't get in my way. If you don't like it, you can go back ahead of us. Then the lady also said to Habang, I'm fine. But he suddenly drew his sword without saying a word. He instantly sliced through a row of trees with a single slash. His voice was cold and unwavering. So you noticed, have you? Thinking I wouldn't make a move. He thought to himself, Noticed what? I didn't even see a thing. I've heard you people are very strong. I heard that while I was away you defeated my subordinate, correct? This time, in the spirit of a knight, I, Habang, will let it pass, but from now on, treat the lady with respect, or you will die by my hand. But before he could finish, he was restrained by two of Louis's guards. One grabbed his head by the hair while the other held a knife to his neck. Not a single sound. When did those two get behind me? Violet replied coldly. I was going to let it slide. You're testing my limits, aren't you? Marry my daughter. The Lord suddenly proposed to him. Someone ordered him seized and skinned alive. The lady also wanted to kill and skin him, and you... She squeezed his chin hard. You pointed your sword at Louis's throat. If it weren't for the flower, I would have killed all of you already. Along with those words came a kick from Black Dragon that knocked him to the ground. Violet gave her final warning. The lady is not allowed to treat Louis harshly. Therefore just watch and do not interfere with us anymore." Her gaze became colder than ever. "This is not a request. It's a warning, even for you, my lady." For even she felt terrified when facing that gaze. Then they returned to Louis's side.
"Are you okay?"
However, he still wouldn't let it go.
"My lady, please give the order." "What don't you understand? Give the order." To disrespect the lady is to disrespect all of Libelium.
Although still hesitant, he was not afraid to fight to the death to protect the lady's honor. "Just give the order and I will fight to the death." But in response, all he got was a slap from the lady. Her eyes were already welling up.
"If you dare say the word die one more time, you'll die by my hand."
Witnessing this scene, it seemed he understood he was wrong. He immediately bowed his head to apologize. "I will never do that again, my lady." Meanwhile, the other three were talking amongst themselves.
"Louis, are you okay?"
"I'm fine, but if I'm in danger, you should save me first." "I have faith in Louis's abilities," the Black Dragon answered bluntly. "Even though you look like a useless bag of bones on the outside, you have amazing regenerative powers." Hearing that, he got pissed. "Man, this little brat. Should I just punch her? Nah, forget it. I'd probably lose anyway. All right, let's find that cockatrice, quickly." Just then, a strange sound was heard. It rang out, startling everyone. What was that? An earthquake? "Louis, over there!" The guards immediately formed a defensive line.
"Get ready to fight! Protect Lady Violet!"
Violet drew her dagger.
"It's too late!"
But from the forest, countless beasts were fleeing with terrified expressions. Then, a giant gorilla appeared. The Black Dragon pointed at it and said, "Louis, that gorilla looks strange. Take a closer look."
"It's crying!"
Very quickly, something attacked and killed the gorilla from behind. The two immediately signaled for Louis to fall back.
"Louis, I found it. The thing we've been eating so deliciously all this time."
In front of them was a creature that looked like a giant chicken, but it was incredibly ferocious. "So this is what it looks like." A soldier suddenly noticed something. "Wait a minute, what is that? That's clearly an adult cockatrice. I heard they live alone. Why is it living in a pack now?" Sure enough, as soon as he said that, many more cockatrices appeared from the forest. "Protect the princess!" the group shouted, then charged in to gang up on the giant chicken.
"Princess, don't come any closer." "Captain, we've defeated the cockatrice. Princess, you can rest easy now."
They've really grown up. Then Habang gripped Louis's hand tightly. "Did you see that? This is the power of the Libelium Knights." But when he looked over, he discovered that Violet and the Black Dragon had already butchered the entire flock at some point. "All right, if they're all down, let's go." He sighed in helplessness. "Princess, those two are definitely monsters. I guess only Habang doesn't know. Time to head back to the village." But just then, one of the chickens got back up and sprayed poisonous gas at the group. The princess quickly found it hard to breathe.
"I can't see anything," he yelled.
"Princess, hold your breath!" But it was too late. I've already breathed it in. Just as she was about to fall, a hand pulled her back and covered her nose.
"Are you okay?"
It was Louis. He pointed at the beast and shouted, "Hey, chickenhead!" A sneak attack from behind? How pathetic. But you picked the wrong opponent. This girl is just a useless, weak, and troublesome burden. She may be called a princess, but she's good for nothing but wasting food.
"Hey, stop it!"
Stop. Even monsters should know right from wrong. Who gave you permission to run wild like this? Can you only think about yourself? These words unintentionally made it recall its breakup with its ex-lover. You only ever think about yourself, don't you? It roared in anger. "What do you know?
How could you humans ever understand my love?"
But with its last bit of strength, it collapsed.
"Princess, are you all right?"
It used up the very last of its strength. It's my fault, Habang thought to himself. Louis, how did you know the cockatrice had reached its limit? To want to control such powerful people, and this is surely a given, just how strong is he? Just then, the princess suddenly asked Louis, "What do you want?" "You charged into poison gas to save me. There must be a reason." "That's right. Why am I totally fine? Probably because I'm just a skeleton."
"Come on, speak up. I will grant you one wish."
But his next words made the princess turn purple with rage.
"What a rude princess." "What?"
"If someone saves your life, you should thank them."
"Who asks about a wish like that? Listen up, you rude princess. From now on, stop following me around. That is my wish."
After that, he paid her no more attention. Instead, he took his spoils of war and headed back. From a distance, she yelled in anger, "Who wants to follow you anyway?" Hey, is he really crazy? Ha! As if I'd give Louis the time of day. I am a peerless beauty. I'm only interested in devastatingly handsome men. That evening, everyone was enjoying a massive roasted chicken. Seeing the old man gobbling it down, they said, "Stop chewing so loudly. You're ruining our appetite." "Hey, why are you all picking on me?" He immediately pointed at Louis.
He's even worse than I am, huh? Me, what did I do? But when it came to him, the two of them just said, "Wow, Louis, you sure have a healthy appetite. Talk about a double standard." He asked the old man, "Mister, where have you been to get this starved?" It wasn't that I didn't want to eat, but that I couldn't. He suddenly said to Louis, "Thank you." "For what?" "Thanks to you, the villagers have really cheered up. And thank you for saving my peerless daughter." Louis held out his hand. "If you want to thank me, then give me the map." The old man bristled. "I only promised to give it to you when you saved the entire village." Frustrated, he turned to leave. "Not so easy to fool, are you? Louis, let me be clear about the map." Hey, slow down, you're going to burst. Louis, here, you eat this." "Why talk so much? It's just a waste of breath." Meanwhile, elsewhere, a young man with a scar was reporting, "My lord, it has been brought back." The man known as the Lord smiled sinisterly. "Good, let's go. Back to my village, Libellium." And that's all for this video. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye, everyone.